Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer and all that good stuff. While people might celebrate in different ways for different reasons and even different holidays, almost everyone can agree that December is probably the happiest season of all. And with Disney World being the most magical place on Earth, it only makes sense that they'd celebrate the most magical day of the year. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, the Candlelight Processional, the Christmas Tree Trail, there's no shortage of holiday traditions at Walt Disney World. But Disney's grandest and most exciting seasonal celebration of all doesn't even exist anymore, unless it secretly lives on. Let's take a look at the baffling history of the Osborne family spectacle of lights. Like all good Christmas stories, Oz begins with a simple wish from a young child. Little Allison Osborne, who often went by Breezy, asked her father back in 1986 if they could put some Christmas lights around their home in Little Rock, Arkansas. Fortunately for young Miss Breezy, her holiday wish was bound to come true, because her father had money. Jennings Osborne and his wife Mitzi had founded the Arkansas Research Medical Testing Center and had the kind of success that allowed them to dedicate the time and money needed to create something truly incredible with their display. The first year they had a rather respectable 1,000 lights adorning their home, but each year they added more, and by 1993 they had over 3 million lights. Many of the most iconic displays in the spectacle of lights date back to their home here. Carousels, the globe with Bethlehem marked on it, the 70-foot-tall light-up Christmas tree, the canopy of lights. The Osbornes had a real eye for design and a knack for spectacle. The family even bought the 2 neighboring properties so they could continue expanding it further and further. They wanted to share this display with others, and soon enough people from around the country were coming to see the Osborne family lights. Now, if you've ever seen Deck the Halls, the critically acclaimed Christmas classic, then you know that living next to a display like that isn't exactly easy or fun. For Osborne's neighbors, the crowds caused by the display made it almost impossible to leave their home after sundown for all of December. And the noise from all the people made staying in unpleasant too. It's easy to write off the Osborne neighbors in this story as Grinches trying to steal Christmas, but there were legitimate issues with something of this massive scale in a residential neighborhood. And so, the lawsuits began. A group of 6 neighbors came together to take the Osbornes to court. Jennings Osborne responded in the most hilariously petty way by putting up 1,000 more lights, presumably arranged in the shape of a middle finger aimed at his neighbor's house, if I had to guess. Unfortunately for the Osbornes, in 1993, the county ordered that Jennings and his family can only have the display up for 15 days a year, and only for 2.5 hours a night. They tried to appeal it, and the case went all the way up to the US Supreme Court, but the ruling stood. 2 years later, in early 1995, the state Supreme Court went a step further and ruled that the display had to be ended entirely. The Osbornes never fully stopped decorating their house, but they did start decorating it more like a house and less like a theme park. Jennings and his family thought that this was going to be the end of the story. Little Breezy's Christmas wish had seemingly taken its final bow. Except, the story isn't over yet. Get out of here, N-Slate! Stop recommending more videos when this one's not even done yet! The light display had gained national attention already, but the court case brought to a whole new level of fame, even catching the eye of John Fallon, a project director at Walt Disney World. He reached out to the Osbornes and offered to continue the display on Residential Street. At first, Jennings was unsure. His family had put so much work into building this display over the years. As much as he wanted to live on, he also wanted it shared. And it sounded like Disney just wanted to hide it away in some random neighborhood in Orlando. But John explained that he wasn't offering to display the lights on just some residential street. He wanted to display them on the residential street, a section of Disney's MGM Studios theme park, which is now known as Disney's Hollywood Studios. And at the time, it was the newest Disney park in America. Disney was offering the chance to share little Breezy Osborne's Christmas wish with millions of people every year. The deal was made, and the Osborne family Spectacle of Lights opened in 1995, becoming an instant favorite Christmas tradition for Disney fans from around the world. When Disney's Hollywood Studios park opened in 1989, it was almost an entirely different place. It didn't even have the same name. Back then it was called Disney's MGM Studios theme park, and half of it was built around the Backlot Tour, which went through the actual sets from different movies and TV series. A personal favorite segment of the ride was the tour through Residential Street, the neighborhood built by Hollywood. This was a series of facades of homes used in establishing shots for different movies and TV shows, including hits like Splash 2 and Ernest Saves Christmas. Man, I'm just talking about the best films of all time in this video. Cinema classics. In 1995, when Disney was bringing over the Osborne lights, Residential Street was the perfect location. There was enough space to hold the extravagant display, there was plenty of buildings to hang stuff on, and since the area was usually only seen on the tram tour, there were no rides, shops, or dining along Residential Street, so the crowds coming to see the lights didn't cause a traffic jam with regular park crowds. All they had to do was reroute the tram tour in the evenings around Christmas time, and it was perfect. And so, this was the home for the Disney MGM Studios Spectacle of Lights, featuring Osborne Family Holiday Lights. But that name was horrible, so it was quickly simplified the next year to just the Osborne Family Spectacle of Lights. For the most part, it stayed pretty faithful to Osborne's original version, just a bit bigger and spread out a bit more. A few Disney touches added here and there, but at heart it was still the family's display. When sending the lights to Disney, the Osbornes accidentally included a black cat from the Halloween decorations. This frightful feline became a bit of a running joke between Imagineers, and every year was hidden somewhere else in the display. This story isn't all holly jolly though. Big changes were coming to Disney MGM Studios in the new millennium, and this seemed to be bad news for fans of the lights. In 2003, Residential Street was completely demolished to make way for Lights Motors Action, a new stunt show full of car chases and explosions and all kinds of special effects. Something that for some reason Disney executives thought would be more exciting than being able to drive slowly past the house from the Golden Girls. Who knows what they were thinking? But without a home, it seemed like it would be lights out for the Osborne display. There was no Spectacle of Lights in 2003, and the lights stayed dark for 2004. Around the same time, New York Street was receiving some updates as well. Originally a functioning movie set and a part of Backlot Tour, New York Street was added to the regular park space pretty early on. But there was never much here beyond a playground theme to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, a small theater that wasn't used too often, and a few small shops and dining options. The space was revitalized in 2004 with some theming added to create the Streets of America, in preparation for the opening of Lights Motors Action in 2005. They had plenty of space, lots of buildings to hang stuff on, and very little that could cause a traffic jam, seeming like they found a new perfect spot for the display. Whether it was always the plan or it was in response to fan outcry, the Osborne Family Spectacle of Lights made its grand return with more lights than ever in 2005. Now sponsored by Siemens. With its new home in the Streets of America, the spectacle was bigger and better than ever. And while there was less space, there was also more lights in that space, making it an experience that surrounded and almost overwhelmed guests with Christmas magic and holiday wonder. Imagineers quickly asked themselves if the display could possibly be any more over the top. In 2006, they found their answer by renaming it the Osborne Family Spectacle of Dancing Lights, and everything was synced to music. As time went on, more and more bits of Disney magic was added, but many of the most iconic parts of the display were still the pieces that dated all the way back to Osborne's home in Little Rock. The scale and excitement of the spectacle was spectacular. But it was these little touches that made it feel personal still. All good things must come to an end though. On January 6, 2016, the lights dimmed for the final time, and the Streets of America were demolished to make way for a land based on Star Trek. With the Streets of America and the Backlot Tour closed, there really wasn't anywhere else the lights could go, practically speaking. There were rumors they'd be moved to Disney Springs or somewhere else like that, but there was nowhere else big enough that wouldn't lead to huge crowd flow issues. And so, for the third time, it seems like the end of our story. And it kind of is actually over this time. But in a way, the Osborne lights do still live on. In Orlando, not too far from Walt Disney World, is the Give Kids the World Village. This is a charity that gives families with critically ill children from around the world the vacation of a lifetime, making these kids' dreams come true at no cost to the families. With the pandemic in 2020, the Give Kids the World village has been empty most of the year, so they began looking for ways to make even more magic next year once they're able to start back up. For this Christmas, 2020, they began hosting the Night of a Million Lights event to help raise money. A huge Christmas light display that transforms the whole village into a whimsical winter wonderland. The decorations were donated by companies like Hasbro, Lego, SeaWorld, and so many others. But the majority of the lights were gifted by Walt Disney World, and while it hasn't been officially confirmed, it is believed that these donated lights came from the old Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights. They might not be set up in the same way, but the spirit is still there. It's the same lights. Little Breezy Osborne's Christmas wish lives on and is now helping grant the wishes of kids from around the globe. And in that spirit, I'd like to start a new Christmas tradition on this channel. It's 2020, a lot of us don't have much, but if everyone who watches this video was able to give just $3.14, it would go a long way towards making someone's dream come true. So this is the first annual #GivePie. There's links in the description and in the pinned comment to the Give Kids the World Village website. Go there, donate pie dollars or whatever you feel comfortable with, and then come back here and comment #GivePie to encourage others to do the same. Together we can make a difference as we head into the end of a year that has been truly baffling. Hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Subscribe so you don't miss more like it, and if this video did inspire you to donate, don't forget to comment below. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, and a fantastic New Year.